That is the summoning song. We wait for our guest. It is Thursday, very close to Christmas. Exactly 1 week away from Christmas, so 7 days. Hustling, bustling. It was cold. Now it's not as cold as it was. We may or may not have a special guest come on today. Like, somebody play the summoning song for our guest again. And they should come in with that. That being said, what up, Seymour? Good to see you again, brother. What you up to, dude? I'm waiting on possibly Hutch to come in. Got a lot of crazy news stories. Y'all heard about the Biloxi, Mississippi Walmart where they had the razor blades and the loaves of bread they found? Well, check this out. They caught the culprit, apprehended her. I guess she is. It's a mental health illness situation is what I was saying online. But they just found her yesterday, so it's all developing more and more. And now I think it could either be mental health situation, or the other possibility is that she put the razor blades in the bread so that way she could go get the bread and then hurt herself and be like, oh, no, Walmart has razor blades in the bread. So she might have been trying to get a dang settlement out of it. Yeah. Yeah, we have that. So that's still developing. Sorry about the dogs barking down the street. The neighbors, I got a whole kennel full of them down there. They don't know how to control them. They haven't taught them how to not bark. I'm interested to hear the buddy's opinion on that razor blade situation. Because that, if you think about it, if you have a sick and twisted mind, uh, that's more, that'd be, remember growing up, they'd say, there's razor blades in the candy, don't accept this, don't accept, like, and all that stuff, but I don't think they ever found anything in the candy. I don't think in all the years of trick-or-treating or anything like that, they've ever found, but lo and behold, they find something in bread. Like, luckily, nobody was hurt. What up, Steph? Good morning, good afternoon, how you doing? Got a little morning stream going on here today. Bunch of crazy news going on a week before Christmas. I've been kind of taking a break from streaming as much because everything has been so busy. What up, John? Good to see you, brother. You as well. Yeah, my shift, it starts here in about 4 or 5 hours. It's a training shift, though, so nothing crazy. It'll be pretty busy. That's Hell Week is what they call it in my area. I guess Hell Week because it's busy or something like that. So, and it is. It is. Tourists, like, they're okay. They help out with the business, I suppose, but at the same time, they're idiots. We call them Tourons. But it's damn good to see you, John. I hope everything is doing good over there. Yeah. So we got the razor blades and the loaves of bread. Y'all heard about that? Now we got a good little crew going on. Yeah, I had that going on. They apprehended the lady. In New York City. Oh, they see apples. I see something like apples and bread. What was they say there'd be poison in the candy? I don't. You remember that? Y'all remember? They say there'd be candy up in there with poison in it. Sadly, in Greensboro, they found blades and apples during Halloween week. Is that where it started? Like, was that the first? Was that like the first place that it initiated from? That's my question. And then it kind of spread from there. Like how there'll be Africanized bees in this one town, then all of a sudden they're saying, "Oh, these bees are coming after us." There are gonna be a whole bunch of them here. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. No, that's insane. Yeah, they're screening the candy and stuff. What up, JoJo? What you up to, dude? And it's crazy. See, like that makes me think. People like to act like people only do stuff that's crazy, and everybody double click the screen if you want to. No, I revert it back. Texas management. I revert it back to my original state. But it makes people say like today's time is way messed up. You know, people act like today's era is fucked up. Whenever in all reality, people have been doing shit like that forever. They putting razor blades in the apples back in the 80s, you know? So that makes me think of shit like whenever they were doing the whole clown, like the clown gangs were gathering up. Sorry to hurt your feelings, dude. But yeah, it's like a big hype. I feel like they're trying to, I don't know, but this bread situation, it's like the agent provocateur, mental illness, trying to get some money, or a combination of mental illness and trying to get some money. What are y'all getting into though today? It's Thursday. We got a week before Christmas. Y'all ready? Y'all excited? What's up? Let me interact with chat real quick. I do that. Vision. Well, check this out. This might help y'all. This is the summoning song when we're trying to summon a hutch. Like Levon, that sounds dope. Put a loudspeaker on. Put this by the water, and I guarantee the fish gonna start coming to you, buddy. Yeah. As I heard this weekend, I would love for it. I'd love to get snowed in this weekend, for sure. I'd love to get snowed in this weekend. Honestly, a white Christmas wouldn't be too bad. I do need to work next week, but what up, Guardian? Yes, sir. I remember you was up on the stream. How was you doing? I remember you wasn't up. I tried to send you a link, but you was like, I was like, fuck, no, that's more important. Take care of that. Everything going well, brother? I see you know stuff I don't know. Texas management. You know stuff that I'm not familiar with. Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. Everything was good though. I seen. Uh, Let me see something. Are you busy? What are you getting into right now? Wait, one second. Everybody, hold on for. Wait, 1 second. All right. See you a link. You can join if you want to. If you can't, that's totally chill, understandable. If the link don't work, that's understandable too. It's like a phone link, but you can also join on your computer, I think, too, if you want to. I sent. Here's the summoning. I've tried the summoning whistle on one of the other buddies. Let's see if it'll work this time. Summon whistle. Fuck, I'm not ready for today. I am not ready for today. There's a training shift, but dealing with tourists, they are shitheads. Look what my dog did last night to my woman. Look, she had this beef tallow she'd bought. I think she spent a pretty good penny on this. Yeah, but look, tell me he got it was a closed jar, and this bastard got into it. Look, I'm trying to put him outside. We're trying to get this dang dog from. We got the neighbor. The neighbor. You hear the cows going crazy over there. The neighbor had left her car in neutral, and it caused it to back up down the driveway and bust into the dog enclosure, and then our other gate. So the insurance will pay for a new fence or for fence repairs in front of it. So I would have done it myself, but honestly, with insurance paying for that shit, might as well. Ask your mom what I use it for. There you go. Secrets out. Don't get offended. I hope your name is. Yeah. Yeah. So, and the dog, he's a shithead. Like I love him, but would do that same thing. I came home the other night, and we feed him plenty good. I mean, anybody that's seen him, he's fat and healthy. But we came home the other night, and the mashed potato bag was torn. He had torn open one of the little, those instant mashed potatoes. Torn that open, and I don't, yeah, I don't understand. He's a rascal. He's a rascal. That's about it. So we get this dog enclosure, and we get him like a good little. I want to say like 50 to 60 feet or something like that. Yeah. So we just, and he's honestly like a 110 pound dog. Like they're outside. That's better. They're better outside. So wait one second. Might got a little static for a second, and let me see. It's linked crazy today. We sent links. Oh, there we go. What up, dude?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, dude. Congratulations
Thanks,
in
bro. Yeah,
person. Hmm.
I appreciate you, dude. And yeah, I really look forward to doing a stream with you. I saw your email the other day, and I've just been like, as you can imagine, just preoccupied and stuff as well, bro.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, you've been busy. You a busy man. You taking care of business though. As crazy, it's cool that you're like stay busy and take care of stuff all the time, but still manage to like do your own thing too. So that's
Yeah,
I've
dude.
been trying to learn that.
Bro, the put in a male pistachio tree today and a female pistachio tree. I got them, brought in from up country. So like it's basically like a 40th birthday present because it's like just 2 weeks from my birthday. And yeah, man, like a bit of a birthday present to myself. I think that's allowed at the age of 40. Like it's a big birthday. So yeah, man. I got that, and then I got some like other plants that I put in today as well. I'm so chuffed, bro. And yeah, the little one's doing healthy. And thank you for that, Caroline. I appreciate it. Yeah, just so chilled, man. Like the most chilled little one that I've come across, bro. So chilled.
It's cool that his birthday's 3 days before yours too. Y'all can kind of celebrate birthdays.
Well, yeah, December's a busy month for us, man.
Mm.
December's like crazy busy.
Yeah, yeah. With my family, everybody's birthday seems like it's in June and July. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. The trees, like I need to I got some black walnuts here I want to try to mess with it. You said that y'all couldn't grow those over there last time we talked, I
Well,
think.
we've got a couple of people that grow them, but the only thing is about that black walnut is that it's very much an American tree, the American black walnut, and like the thing is that it contains juglone, so then juglone kind of reduces the output of other fruiting trees that are near it because it's like a king tree in that way. Like it's actually really awesome that it's like no, it's my territory here, and then they just basically make it almost impossible for other fruiting trees around it to really actually produce a large amount. Thank you for that, Carolina.
Her daughter, I guess, was born on the same day as her. What up, Gma?
What's up, Gma? Good to see you.
So I noticed the name change and stuff. It's dope. Either one was dope, but like it's good to like I feel you on wanting to like reinvent yourself, you dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm wanting to change some of my shit up soon as well.
Yeah, look, like if I do, like I've got to stay true to what I'm focused on, right? I've always been into preparedness and to self-reliance, and like that'll always be my jam. And it's more of a lifestyle than a hobby for me. It's like
Hmm.
consistently being mindful of ways to be self-reliant and ways to improve upon that. But it's just like gardening for the last like 2 years specifically. I mean, I've been gardening for maybe about a decade or two now, but like the last 2 years specifically, man, I've just been like super focused in on like different permaculture disciplines and establishing a food forest as well. It's my second food forest that I'm basically building up, but I'm so chuffed, man. It's doing really well.
Yeah. Do y'all get like any kind of, y'all don't get like really bad winter snaps there, do you? Like you can pretty much keep going all year round.
Yeah, definitely. We do get like a little bit of like frost if you go to the right areas in the country, but for the most part, like it's a very chilled month. Like
Nice.
it's definitely really like moderate weather. We're in subtropical area, so year round it's pretty much chilled.
Yeah, I was wanting to try to start getting some done over here, but then winter kind of came a little bit quick and kind of, we had a pretty early snow here in Tennessee, so it was, and then yeah, and honestly, it sucks working outside whenever it's like 25, 30 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's cold. It's cold. It's cold.
Yeah, that's it's crazy that you guys have to do things like bring some of your citrus trees indoors for periods
Yeah,
like that. And it all depends on where you're in the states as well. Like obviously
exactly.
different climates, right?
Mhm. Yeah, California and Florida, they're gonna be able to like pretty much grow stuff like all year round. But it gets cold there sometimes too. I think because I don't know why my mom, like, I grew up in Orlando, Florida, and you would never think it snows there, right? But in 2012, it did snow a little bit.
Oh, do you ever watch Penguin Zero, Charlie?
Yeah. I watch him. Yeah, I keep up with him. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I've been like such a big fan for a long time, bro.
Hmm.
So I know that he's also over in Florida by you guys. Like his
He's in
yeah, I just
Jacksonville.
like yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. Like I love the way that it's just so straightforward about a lot of shit, and he's
Hmm.
just like a good dude, bro.
Yeah, I think I would love to see him and Asmongold collab in some way, and that would kind of
Mm.
be, honestly, that would
Yeah,
be.
dude.
Do you follow Charleston White at all, Guardian?
I do. Yeah,
He's
I'm
kind of
quite familiar.
he's controversial, but he like, I would like for him and Andrew Tate to have a 4 hour long podcast together.
Andrew Tate definitely speaks some truth. I don't follow him too closely because of the radicalization elements to him as well.
Mhm.
But I do understand, that each of us have different kind of paths,
Mhm.
and I've got nothing against Andrew Tate. I just think that there are some things that are a bit
Yeah,
extreme for my own
exactly.
personal like preference and stuff. Like I'm more of a David Goggins, and I know that you're going to say like it's a bit cheesy or something, but I have so much time for David Goggins, bro. I try and live like in similar ways by just consistently being, trying
Well,
to like focus in on self improvement.
you can respect David Goggins because he's not trying to like Tate is like so far gone now. Like he like is damn trying to sell crypto and sells online classes all the time. And like he's not really, I don't really, he started off as like a kind of a funny dude, like saying all this shit controversial. What's the thing that they call people? Grifter.
Yeah,
He
yeah, yeah.
might possibly grifting. But some is like, yeah, like, yeah, but it's like that would be the imagine him and David Goggins sitting down and talking with each other. Fuck, that would be crazy. Like,
Dude, it's definitely like that whole element of fitness as well, and I think that like for the most part, people they're capable of focusing in on like a couple of elements, but usually everything that I do pretty much resonates with the outdoors in some ways, whether it be gardening or like hiking, camping, just the fitness thing as well, like completely focusing on that, but not using more of an indoor gym, just using like the streets and like the woods and like working out in the wilderness. I love that, bro.
I want to become more in touch with nature, dude. Like, I want to start getting more like, I feel somewhat physical, but just like not from. I don't. If I feel like if I were to like work on it and try to tune it in, I could get something out of it. But I do feel weaker than I should feel at the moment. I'm not gonna lie. I'll put it out there.
Dude, a little bit every day. Everybody feels like you, bro. I even feel like that myself. Like I haven't been as on top of it recently because I've had to help out the missus with the little one and stuff, and she hasn't been like fully capable because of like caring, right? So I've had to really like do a lot of stuff around the place, where usually we'd kind of like balance the workload. I've had to like do quite a lot of it, and I'm grateful for for the little one as well. So I'm happy to do it.
That's crazy because my friend, they had like a newborn baby not too long ago, and it was like his youngest, and he was saying the same thing. He was like, "This baby is just so chill and just so like calm and just like maybe it's like something in this year like they're all just like chill or something like that. You know, my son was born in 2020, and I feel like they had something special about them and their generation too.
Yeah, there's definitely, even like this week, the nursing staff said that like there's definitely like a whole bunch of males being born this week. Well, at the hospital that I was at, and like my son's so chilled, bro. Like so like calm and kind of, just even when he cries and stuff as well. It's not like a long cry. It's more just still up like a hey, I need something.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm grateful that he's chilled and he's healthy, and yeah, it's a big part of life, yeah, it really is something that changes a person and gives you a lot more purpose and reason, I guess. Um, yeah, sorry, my other little one's being a bit loud at the back there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'd like to get everything settled in a little bit more. And honestly, I think ideally I'd like to have 15 kids one day. Don't tell my woman that. I gotta get the
Yeah,
for
bro.
sure. Damn, that would be great because you got to think like that would be like that'd be a lot of help and a lot of teaching. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my yard right now. I'm thinking, God dang, if I had 15 kids, I could teach them how to mow it and appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, you're building a tribe, bro. Basically, like, and also GM and Anna, thank you very much for the congratulations. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and do you have any like big plans for like New Year's Eve, New Year's? Y'all throwing down? Y'all throwing a bash down over there?
So, because it's my 40th birthday, I'm actually surprisingly going to be doing something that I do like every now and again, which is going like quite an extensive walk. So doing about like a 30 mile walk. So about 45 to 50 kilometers. So about a 30-mile walk for my birthday, like a solo walk along the spine of the city where I live and along some of the wilderness. And that's kind of how I celebrate it. And then the rest of the time with family and just yeah, pretty much catching up with family and maybe like one or two friends. But I've always believed in that statement. It's better to have four quarters than to have like a whole bunch of pennies, right? I
Mm-hmm.
definitely try and focus in on value rather than quantity. When I was younger, it was all about quantity and stuff as well. But as I've definitely aged, I've started to have like more closer friends rather than many friends, because I do feel that just from experiences, right, you start kind of learning to have like you learn who to trust and who not to trust as well. And because of like, I'd guess damage, if you want to call it that, a person starts to build, quite heavy boundaries when it comes to who a person lets into their life, on a personal level.
Mm-hmm. And see, I've noticed that too. Like I'm 9 years behind you, and I have a question for you after this. It's like I do notice like it's like I don't want to decide the people that I do like end up being friends with, like that's my friend group. Like I don't see I'm not as actively trying to go out there and like, oh, be my friend to all these different people. I need all the, like if I connect with somebody, then it's now this is my thing with you. I was gonna ask you, now that you're about to be 40 years old, like what's like the top three things like you would tell somebody who's 20?
That's actually a damn good question, and I'll try and make it concise. I'll try and be as concise as I can because I can go off on a tangent on this topic. But the three most important things is genuinely be kind, like kindness, and I'm not being cheesy when I say so. If I wasn't kind and compassionate towards people that were struggling along the way, I truly believe that I wouldn't be where I am within my life. I came up in a household with like 8 people in a 3-bedroom house. I stayed in the kitchen for like the first 11 years of my life, which is something that I don't usually talk about it very often. But if it wasn't for being kind and for helping people along the way, I don't think that life would have worked out the way that it did for me. And I've also really so that's number one, be kind. And it leads into segues quite smoothly into the second one, which is just work really hard. In everything that you do, your name goes before you. So if you put effort in and energy into the thing that you're doing and try and enjoy even the hard work that you're doing, you definitely can come out a lot better on, like, in most regards. Nothing worthwhile is really, easy to attain. Everything worthwhile, even like a good level of fitness or a good garden or a good understanding of self-reliance, all of it comes like with a lot of input from yourself. So working hard is like the second one, I'd definitely say. Like, so be kind, be like really hardworking. And the third one as well is be careful who you trust. Like, trust few, but make sure that you have that trust there so that you can make friendships, because without trust you have nothing. So trust. So like, also like, it leads into honesty. If they are, kind of one in the same, where be careful who you trust, but also make sure that you're trustworthy. Your word will always go before you as well, not just your work ethic. So if you have the capability to, to work hard and you're an honest and reliable person, you definitely can gain a lot in life as well. And I'm not speaking materialistically, I'm speaking about like, just having strong values in that. Yeah, I think that those are the most three important. Would you give me yours? Your top three of like things that you'd teach somebody that is younger than you, Pilgrim?
Yes. What up, Jules? What up, Hillbilly? I would teach the number one thing I feel like would be patience, because throughout my, like, now that I am 31, like, I feel like before I was always rushing, or I'd always get upset if things weren't like happening quick enough. I'd always want it to happen right then and there. Whenever, like you had said, things don't just happen overnight. I'm not just gonna wake up and it's gonna be different. So patience, because I was always and that, like, I guess, and ain't like not getting upset about small things is something else I would try to tell somebody younger and shit. And I work with some young people at my job too and stuff like that. And I'll be telling them, like, you don't need to be getting upset like that. And my third thing would be to like value like people who are older than you's advice, and like, respect them, because like a lot of times when you're young, you're like, oh, this person don't know shit, even though they've been through shit and know what they're talking about. You don't know, they don't know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's my three things, honestly, would be patience, uh controlling your temper, and listening to older people's advice. And if like, yeah. And well, your three things too as well, that kind of like, yeah, dude. Like, see, I'm 30. At 31, I feel way different than I did at 21. I can't imagine what I'm gonna feel like when I'm 41, because I feel like we're constantly evolving, dude. What up, Hutch?
So that, I think that age thing kind of works both ways sometimes as well. You should also be willing to listen and learn from people that are your juniors. So that's like a whole other thing as well, right? Is like being willing to actually just like pay attention to people irrespective of their age, and being willing to actually like listen to what they have to teach.
Exactly. Yeah, because like I've always thinking like this, like too. Speaking of that age thing, like there could be somebody who's like 60, 70 years old, never did any service, and like slight levels of training. And there could be like somebody who's like 22 and has been in the Navy SEALs since he was 18. Like, who do you think is going to have more knowledge in the area? But like this, who the one dude might be like, this guy don't know shit. What up, Shorty? Just based on his age, being younger, being 22. Like I said, that is wrong.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot from being willing to just listen to people as well, like giving them a chance to speak, because it's easy to just like, for me, it's rather easy to speak. Being somebody, different people, like, I guess, more of an extrovert, right? So there's people that are much more introverted as well, and it's actually difficult for them to learn to chat to others. But for me, I've actually, as I've gotten older, had to learn to be more concise in certain ways and to just actually listen. And there's another thing that goes along these type of topics as well, which is not giving your remote away to people, to basically having like the capability to stay in control of your emotions and not allow like your emotions to flare up and stuff as well too easily. But I mean, everybody has those days, right? Like, Yeah,
Yeah.
GMA Nana says that kids are so immediate gratification, living the life. I tell my younger self hours and effort towards stability in the future.
100%. There's just like so much like money that I wasted when I was younger that I wish I would have put aside, saved, or did some other shit besides like just wasted. As you know, it's either in the ozone layer or I just lost it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's gone.
Well, do you think you'd be the same person if you had not spent that money when you did on the things that you did? Like, you know?
No, I don't. I couldn't imagine myself as like different. No, I don't. I don't think. I think I would be a completely different person, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's that. So, yeah, exactly. So what happens is that a lot of farmers, they'll take an apple tree, and when an apple tree is young, when it's still a sapling, they'll shake around the apple tree quite a lot, and they'll do that regularly. And it actually makes the tree, as the tree gets older as well, it ends up just becoming a lot more of a stronger tree. And it's the same metaphor that can be said for like people when it comes to the shit that we go through when we're younger. Like some of the stuff that we go through, like might seem like the worst thing on the face of the planet at that time, but it actually comes with like lessons and stuff as well. So it's just it's quite interesting when you go through things, and sometimes those things that you go through can really build character, because character isn't built from from luxury and from easy living. It's from actually going through things. And that's why, I don't know, man, like that's why I definitely lean towards friends of mine in the US, like yourself and you guys as a community, because it's just, you can see that like a person has actually like been through real shit, and it usually makes them like a lot more of a real person, so they can actually have more conversations that have a high level of integrity without the level of judgment that comes from the masses out there. And I think that that's something that I gravitate towards as well, is sometimes the people that have been through rough times. And I just genuinely feel like, because I've been through my own shit, it's just a lot easier for me to speak to people and for me to like understand where they're at. And for the most part as well, like that's easier for them to understand myself as well, because it's not about just making sure that presentation is important. It's just also about just living with integrity. And I really mean that. Like, I'm not just saying it to to look good on camera or to impress people. I don't give a damn about any of that anymore. And that's also why I've shut down, like, for the most part, taken off like a lot of what I've done on this platform. I just, yeah, I've got a new direction. And I also feel that with security becoming more of a facet, I've had to up my security by reducing the content that I put out there online for anybody to see. And it's just, I've been giving so much of myself for the longest time on YouTube. And it's just at this point where I'm just done with that, bro. I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm so tired. And I'm like, I'm tired spiritually, if you want to call it that. I'm just like, all of the shit that's happening all over the world and not being able to say anything about it, and just feeling like I'm like not able to talk about the things that really do matter. And then, just because I've got to save face all the time. And I think that that's something that I've unfortunately just really just become annoyed with. And it's just about being real that matters at the end of the day. And that's why I can just, from now on, if I only have like my gardening content, I can also like drop in some content that is purely the shit that I believe in. All of the stuff that's happening around the world that people feel like they can't talk about. There's so much that is going on right now across the world that's just completely like so effed up, bro.
They clutch their pearls if you talk about it, right? They're like, "Oh, you can't talk about that."
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
Here in the U.S., we had some lady. She put a bunch of razor blades in some bread at our Walmart in Biloxi, Mississippi, a couple of days ago, and they caught her. See, that shit. We have mental illness here like crazy.
Dude, from this side of the pond, I've been seeing that for a while. I've been seeing, but it's not just you guys in the US, it's across the world. There's definitely some crazy things that are happening. And that's why, yeah, it might be a bit of a controversial take, but I do think that justice is like, I don't know why they let repeat offenders out when the person's committed like more than like 5 extreme violent crimes, and he's still out in the street, and then they're surprised when that happens again. It's like, how many times do you really need to give a person that's like, victimized innocent people, like how many times do you have to allow those people to live in society with the rest of society as well? I mean, we all make mistakes, I get it. I don't think that, there's a single human being that hasn't, really messed up somehow in
But like
some way.
murdering and like hurting people and stuff like that, like they say it's because society is here. They like to say society is a harm to them, and it's like their mental illness is caused from stressful being in society, kind of shit. That so it makes people want to be criminals and shit. And it's like, no, is you don't we like you were saying, our past it defines us and it helps build us who we are, but we don't let it hold us back, and like we don't let it like completely. You know what I'm saying? So, but like they like to here it's like the mental illness and shit is connected to that's all that's always someone else's fault. They want to put it on like society or their parents or themselves or God, but they don't want to like to realize that they just got, regardless of whose fault it is, like I don't know. It's like it's just like it's crazy.
So it's the whole first world problem thing. I think that it's because of ease of access in certain ways, where that's where I think some of the mental illness is derived from, is just how easy things have become. So what happens is people start to have other problems when that happens. Like it's almost as though that when things are good and people have, because like I can't believe how much people have access to abundance the way that they do. And I think that that's sometimes a really negative thing as well. Thank you very much, by the way, Sophia.
What up, Sophia? Thank you. Yeah, and I feel people, they didn't really have like access to like recording themselves and uploading everything they did back in those days and shit on the social media like they do. I'm sure that they were doing crazy shit back then too.
Yeah, because we've got more eyes on it. Everybody's got a camera, so when there is stuff that's done, it also blows up quickly. So we think that everybody's doing this, this crazy shit that's out there, but it's actually just been happening like that on like for a while. Like Westy's got a pretty interesting question that he dropped over there, or she dropped over there. Thoughts on nationalism. It's such an interesting topic, and phrased it in that way. Like, you want to go first on that, Pilgrim? That's a topic that could get a person into trouble if they're not careful.
I always feel like I always got to do like, what do you define as nationalism? Like because I look at like this, like I do. It's proud. It's proud to be like of your country. It's not proud of your government. Or no, nationalism. Nationalism would be more like leaning towards like white knight in your government and everything your president or everything your government says is good. Patriotism is loving your country, whereas be safe. Don't be texting and driving, Sophia. Whereas nationalism is closer to authoritarian and like loving like nationalism to be closer to like I'm gonna do anything that my government and president says, whereas patriotism is you're gonna question and you're gonna you love your country, you don't love your government. What do you think about that? What up, Elusive?
Sorry, brother. I can hear you.
No,
I
good,
just
dude.
had to take a second now.
No, you good. But all this stuff, like, it has to be done. Like, we can't like people act like every. Let's just say some of the things that happened in the past, like they say, "Oh, that's terrible," and it's like, well, this we it had if we're ever gonna want to get off of this planet, if we're ever gonna want to like advance as a human race, we're gonna have to be united. Not necessarily as a one world government hive mind shit, but how we're gonna be getting to space if we still got like Stone Age societies and cavemen and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, not disrespecting that, because that is something that is valuable and good, but like we're gonna need the whole of the human race to be able to venture out into the stars, in my opinion. But we all know what opinions are like. Chat, what are y'all getting into? He's taking care of something, so.
Yeah, I'll do that quickly. And I think that you raise a good point. I was just, with the little ones. So I don't know if you can still hear me correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a topic that over here kind of can get a person into trouble. Speaking about nationalism in general, I do think that there's a sense. Look, locally, the current government has held power for the last 30 years. So it's actually a left-leaning party, the party that's currently holding power. So yeah, it's just kind of it's interesting how well people are getting along here on the ground. And I've mentioned it before, but it's kind of that there is like a sense of pride in South Africa for being South African. And it's not as much like, it's not really based off of ethnicity. It's more based off of the current scenarios that people have to go through. Our economy is completely Our economy is a joke, man. The whole continent of Africa, if you look up our global wealth compared to other countries and other continents, really, if you look up African continent compared to like other continents and parts of the world, like it's ridiculous how low percentage of wealth there is in this on this continent. Let alone like in South Africa. South Africa is also like a country where like the economy is really bad, so then crime's really like fucked up too, and then because of that, like it just kind of um, makes you have to endure and be completely alert at all times and not take like any day for granted, because you genuinely don't know when it's going to be your last. And you always have to like I sleep at random times in the evening as well, because I need to be like on alert, and I don't want, like, if there is crime as well in the area, like I feel very uncomfortable sleeping from about 4 o'clock till about 6 o'clock, sometimes even 3 o'clock in the morning. If I wake up to go to the bathroom, I'll stay awake because I'll just feel like uneasy, and that kind of sucks. Even though, and that's something that we all experience together, really.
See, and that does make me know. We should be grateful here in the U.S. Like, we act sketched out, but we don't have to deal with shit like that. But it is cool to hear from you, because like here, like our news will tell us like shit's really terrible going on in all these other countries. And let me go back to chat. There ain't nothing wrong with the mud hut. Stank nasty.
Yeah, what happened in Rhodesia is very interesting as well. The person goes on a deep dive and looks into what that turned out to be.
Yeah, see, that's it. Yeah, I know. We can't. We don't. I don't want. Yeah, and I don't like. We can't really. I don't want to like. I know that's a topic. I know that's something that we can't really talk too much about, and I respect that for sure. But yeah, that was definitely yeah, all that situation. Like it's just like you saying how you guys all, there's like a sense of like national unity amongst you guys, like, and as I feel like we lost that here in the US. Like, even though all this shit, it's not based on ethnic shit. They're trying to divide us here based on that, but it wouldn't be the same country without all of us together. It wouldn't be like the way it is now. It would not be the same if it didn't have this people, this kind of people, and this kind of people, and all these people. And I'm pretty sure the same way with what you guys got going on over there.
Yes, I do think that we are just about to hit an age where things are about to change up completely. Society's about to do like a 180 in terms of the way that we view things at the moment. And I think that there's some good shit on the way. Like if you look at the way that people used to live, and I speak about this often because it's something that I think about quite frequently too, where if we look at like the way that the world is right now, like we definitely are progressing in huge leaps and bounds. And I think that if you look at the way that we lived about a century ago compared to the way that the world is now, if you just imagine the next like 20 years, things are going to be so different from what they are now. Even like within the next 5, I'd say, like there are so many different implementations of technology that are going to improve things, and I look forward to that. I actually work with a colleague of mine who is who's actually got Alzheimer's, and they have a very, very remarkable and interesting way of utilizing current technology. It's not Neuralink, but it's something that actually works similar to that, and it's actually going to be able to assist him in his doing a operation like quite early in the year next year, because yeah, it's just interesting what technology is capable of doing, and I think that a lot of people's suffering could be ended pretty quickly as soon as we've got the capability to really use some of the advancements within the medical field that we've got to, that we're going to be seeing much more of in the next few years.
What up, Dave? Yeah, and I think that that's all going to coincide. Like, it's going to be at what point does augmentation and AI interface and shit like that become street knowledge? You know what I'm saying? Like, like Elysium. I hate to go sci-fi for a second, but at what point does it become like? Because AI it's developing more and more. Like, it's helping somebody with Alzheimer's, and I've heard about other cases like that as well. Um, let me see. He said Westy had said something. He said, I feel like it's not just like he's saying the Gen Zers are more right leaning generation yet, and they're gonna. But I feel like that's all over the world. I feel like more countries, like the Gen Z, the youth is going towards the right all over, and that's gonna. How's that gonna? How is if there's a rise in ultra nationalistic governments, and I'm high, how is that going to interact with with the advanced this AI Neuralink and all this. Lockheed, if I got jumped right now, I'd pepper spray. I stay strapped with that sauce. If I'm at my house, so worse than.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of opportunity for. I mean, if you look at Nepal at the moment as well, what they're currently doing,
Yeah.
and it's several other countries. I think that
Madagascar shit.
AI could help us a lot, man.
Now the Madagascar situation, I'm not going to get too deep into it. Like, did that affect you guys at all? I don't know how far it is. It's probably closer to you than it is to us over here.
Yeah, Madagascar is super close to us. If you had a boat, you could pretty much head over that side.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's and it is good to see like the Ute take over and do something, but hopefully it's for good. They did the same thing in China in the 60s, right? Then Cultural Revolution, it was the youth overthrowing their teachers and stuff like that in GTA 6, and so I think that yeah,
Nepalese, bro. Yeah.
yeah, they could be weaponized. The youth could be weaponized, right? That's what they've always said. Like, it sucks. Like, I'm kind of upset. I'm kind of like sad because I'm no longer a part of that. But it's okay. I'm like, no, I'm amongst the elder crowd. I just joined it
Well,
recently.
yeah, dude. Well, it's a good time to be alive in 2025, and I think that people take that for granted, like because they're so stuck into like headlines and all the political and like just the narratives that are out there. Like everybody's got a side, and everybody has a echo chamber. And what happens with that is confirmation bias, right? So you just keep falling deeper and deeper into whatever it is that you believe. So a person's got to kind of it's for a person's benefit to take a step back and to actually just analyze the whole situation as a human being and realize that, yeah, that we're on a pretty interesting trajectory. The reason why I mention AI and the reason why that comes up like pretty often, I guess, is because like it's definitely something that like you take some of the technology that we've got at the moment, you take it back a few years, even like, a few decades, and people would just be absolutely astounded by the fact that we're using that in the way that we are, that everybody has access to not just Google, but like advanced, like you remember like people would have to actually go look up stuff in encyclopedias and that
Mm-hmm.
actually have to go do stuff like that. Like right now you have like AI models that obviously like can communicate back with you, and if you go down rabbit holes with AI models, you'll be surprised what you can find out and learn. And that's just magic, bro. Like I know it seems redundant and whatever because some people are just so sick of the AI conversation, but it's something that is like so significant in our world, and I don't think enough attention's actually put on that. And maybe it's because of being South African, but man, we could do with a lot of advancements over here when it comes to the way that people live, bro.
Do you think is that why do you think like Elon is from there, right? So is that like do you think that's why he wants like to do the AI and the space shit so much because he sees how his country was and he wants to? Do you think he wants to do any of that to benefit any of it or like?
There's a there's a lot that I could say on that. There's it's a whole deep dive. I actually follow Elon Musk a lot closer than most people do, and there is a lot of information that gets shared locally here that doesn't really, I don't think, gets enough international attention. But there's a lot to be said on this topic, a lot that I shouldn't really say, in terms of the way that things are currently here. If you knew the truth about South Africa, you'd be extremely surprised. Is all I'm going to say about that, bro.
Okay.
There's things that are, I don't know why they haven't hit the international like kind of media, but it just gets looked over. Um, there's definitely rather interesting things that are happening at the moment over here, bro. Um, I'll share with you offline at some point as well about some
All
of the
right.
stuff regarding AR and the local technology that's being, misused in ways as well. It's rather interesting.
What up, Leslie? Do they all have like a pretty? Do they have like a CCT like set up CCTV shit like the cat security shit set up pretty good over there? Like we have like in New York City, there's like fucking like 30 million cameras or something like that.
Well, that's where we have silver linings, right? We have we like if you look at in the East, in China, they'd have social credit score, and then all that monitoring of the big brother, if you want to call it that, the monitoring of people as well, and facial recognition that's at the level that it's at, basically makes it so that the credit scores and that the cameras are being everywhere, and people being just consistently tracked and monitored. There are there are very little. There's very little of that down here, for the most part. It is becoming more regular. Like the main highway that I stay close to has recently been putting up a lot of those big cameras that are solar powered and that have the capability to track cars and speed and stuff as well. But because I ride a motorcycle, like an adventure motorcycle, yeah, the routes that I can take are quite alternative at points, and I like to take the road less traveled, if you want to call it that. So I avoid most of the highways, and I actually like enjoy my bike. I ride a lot of dirt roads, and I ride a lot of areas like through valleys and passes and stuff as well. There's so much beauty down here, bro. We have an extremely beautiful country. I know you guys do too. But yeah, it's good to be here, man.
How long before they? Do you think the AI is attached to any of these security systems?
Absolutely. And that's the problem, right? As soon as you've got AR creating AR already, and because of that, you have the capability for every single company to be utilizing more and more advanced artificial intelligence, and that applies to security companies, that applies to governments, that applies to local law enforcement, wherever you may be. Like there's a lot of things that are being done that also specifically like within the military. Like that's I think one of the biggest things too. What's up, Leslie? Good to see you, by the way. I think that there's so much shit that can be discussed about this, and I do think that we aren't ready for what the near future could look like.
AI powered drones, where the drones don't have to have somebody operating the shit no more. They just tell them who the enemy is, and they just send them out there and fight.
That's
That's gonna
already
be
happening.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That's a lot of Lockheed Martin's currently busy with a lot of that as well. And Paramount. Paramount has also got some interesting systems in terms of the AR front. But for the most part, some of your companies, when it comes to like AR-driven technology and weaponry, that's where the advantage is that the signal cannot be jammed. Because of AR being able to being able to deploy AR in a military situation, like you don't really have to have consistent interaction with that drone anymore when you have the capability to provide it with a set instruction and let it go.
That's like some damn droid shit from like Star Wars as separatists. It's the fucking the fuck.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and it goes. There's a level deeper than that too.
Dude, I see videos like crazy shit. Like it'll be over there in this GTA 7, I guess, is featuring the Donbass, but it'll be having like the dudes that just be sitting there looking at a map and a drone just comes down and then you see like red all over the snow and shit. That shit is insane.
Yeah, I love that, bro. I
Just
think
out of
that
nowhere. I know they'll just be sitting here and then just like
yeah, dude.
yeah.
Like GTA 6 is I played. I don't know. Did you actually play some GTA 5? By the way, did you like
A
fuck with it for
little
a while?
bit. A little bit. I never got into the Rockstar games too much. I know I'm
Yeah,
blasphemous for that, but I never really got into GTA or Red Dead. My buddy is like he's obsessed. Like he got all kinds of bad shit's happening to him right now. He's only worried about GTA 6 next year. Now I
dude. There's
would
a
play it.
reason. There's a reason why.
It's see, I want to like I've been playing Bully the remake, the not remake, but they came out with so I got Bully again for my system. Playing a little bit of that, but GTA 6, I'll probably get it. That'll probably a lot of people will be streaming GTA 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the gaming world leans on the fact that GTA 6 is coming out because most other AAA games are completely ruined at the moment. Like a lot of the commercialization and the way that games are designed to be picked up, played, and move on to the next game rather than games that actually are enjoyable enough that you'd play that game for like several years in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's they might have competition if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out around the same time. I don't know. They'd be, and no game is going to want to come out within the same year as GTA 6. I feel like after November 8th, they're going to want to wait a little bit. But Elder Scrolls 6, but that's what I'm afraid. Like, the GTA, they're going to be they might wait so long. You're gonna have to get the PS6 to come out, and then you're gonna have to do a subscription service to play it. It's gonna be bullshit.
Microtransactions.
Yeah, dude, and they already kind of have it on GTA Online. I guess they have a lot of the servers where you will have to do microtransactions already. So they've been kind of like testing it with their online. I feel like.
Dude, with what do you think about 3D printers? What do you think about like not just regular 3D printers, but 3D printers are becoming like there's some rather interesting technology around 3D printers in general, and I think that as soon as we've got that capability to kind of make food for each other, like you can take a lot of organic materials and you can turn them and extract the nutrients level of them as well, and then create things pretty easily.
As I want one. Like I want like, what are they? What are the materials? Like what is it? What are what are the materials that they use to melt and put into the mold or to whatever to? That's what I'm curious about. But I'm very interested in a 3D printer.
Sorry, there's actually people over here in the streets that I just want to get some footage of. Hey, what's up, bro? You all right? One second.
I know. Be safe, dude.
Yeah,
I
just
got.
give me 1 second, you guys. Just 1 second.
Yeah, he was saying that this is the time that shit happens. That he has to go like look out. That sucks, dude. Yeah, that means it's grateful to be here on this country out here. Thank you, Kevin. The hat is cool. Can you subscribe? Well, I can't subscribe to myself. 3D, yeah, they are 3D print meat. They have it to where you can get your own meat, like little burger patties from your own DNA. Like swab in there, and then put it in there, petri dish. All good.
Yeah, everything's cool, man. And that's exactly GMA Nana was speaking about as well there, the 3D printing meat. And I'm not like, you know, I'm really not as opposed to it, coming from a country where hunger is as much of an aspect as it is. Um, like, I don't judge people if they had to do something that is able to nourish themselves, you know. I actually think that technology could be a way for, as long as it's done in a, you know, in a way that's not harmful to human beings. I definitely think that there's a lot of value within that. Um, I'm so sick of people having the levels of poverty that they do, and anything that we can do to kind of like solve that, you know, anything that we can do to solve that is a way, like a step in the right direction.
And it is, you make a very good point, because like people it's just like we are kind of like, I think that like the elites make trying to put info to make us scared of technology. They don't want us to be wanting advancement. And thank you, Hutch. They don't want us to be advancing in technology. And you know they, and that's why it was so, if we all seen Star Trek, I assume, and you know they had the food replicator in Star Trek. You know, nobody, you know, we don't really get like freaked out by that. You know, people are not like, oh, holy shit, the fuck, they're eating 3D printed food in Star Trek. You know, so you know, make a valid point. Depending on like the material, like what would they 3D print it out of? Is what I'm interested in. Ideally, any kind of, and any kind of waste material could be used.
It's exactly that. It's um, it's the capability for them to extract any of the nutrients and basically print that out onto something which is consumable. So depends on what a person's kind of like eating as well. Like, and it's, as long as it's nutritious and isn't full of chemicals and microplastics, I think you're winning.
So technology is a double-edged sword. Yeah, I mean it has to be like, I heard, is it true that I've heard that they say that most of the scientific advancements have been discovered during war? What a New York outcast.
Yeah, and most of wars are derived after there's been levels of great like depression, nationwide as well. Like when countries are struggling, sometimes war can pull them out of that. As horrible as war is, and as much of an advocate for war I'm not, I will say that there's definitely all of those, you know, leaps and bounds of technology that gets, you know, basically put in when you have that. So, yeah. And then mixed divisions over here. My Somali brethren run Seattle, Dearborn, and Minnesota. What a troll comment. That's funny.
That is the troll. That's like one of the troll comments of all time. I'm gonna screenshot that. Well, I hope you guys enjoy all the benefits and shit. I'm about to go to work and hope get y'all some more benefit money next month. So that's obviously a troll. That's what I like about these damn. Yeah, exactly. You don't know shit about that grasshopper. That grasshopper's trying to break into my house. What flag is that? Get your skinny ass out of this chat. Mixed division. Oh, is it? Huh. Oh, Vin Diesel? That makes sense. That checks out. Well, if you are, dude, cheeseburger's great. Here's an intelligent comment. Yeah, there's this guy. I remember on Facebook. I don't know if he was popped up in any of y'all's reels. He was a dude in Chicago, the black guy, younger guy. He had figured out a way to use cooking oil for gas, and he's posting videos. It was all over. Um, it was all over, and then all of a sudden, he's gone. And I remember there was a couple of posts like they were saying from his mom, and then this could all be fake too. It could all be subterfuge. But they were saying we haven't seen my son in so long, blah blah blah. And we're talking about like, people who invent alternate ways for fuel and new technologies, how they just go disappear.
Yep. I don't know if you know about the plane that went. This is rather interesting, and you guys can look into this if you want to as well. Around about the time of 9/11, there was a plane that went down that was holding some of the world's top leading scientists for the cure of the AIDS virus. And you can look up that if you want. You can do your deep dive, and you'll actually see that that's something that occurred. Yeah.
I remember when that shit happened, dude. Like that, I remember that shit, and they just kind of like brushed it under the rug. Yeah, just kind of brushed it under the rug, like it. Yeah, it's like no need. Funny you even bring that up. That made me remember that like that happened. Um, that was terrible for the world. And they was not wanting to get that. They wasn't wanting to lose that money. Was it the Malaysia fight?
It might have been. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just they want. I don't know, dude. I feel like it's just like you. I want to think that they want to like do shit to kill us and shorten our lifespans, which they do. I feel like, but at the same time, I also feel like why they. It seems like they like why they want more consumers. I feel like to buy their shit and eat their shit and buy and sell and do this and get this and obey and consume this. So it's kind of like I don't know. It feels like why would they want to? That's why I question myself sometimes. Like, would they want to kill a bunch or destroy a bunch of people, or would they rather, kind of placate us? Um, that's what I'm curious about. What a third eye, you know? And it's like instead of 1984, it'd be more like a Brave New World where everybody's like, there's like some kind of crazy drug. Like so everybody, government gives out a drug. They call it Soma in the story. Everybody is on Soma, and they're drugged out and not caring that they're living basically like slaves. Yeah, exactly. They don't want no creation. It's like the government it feels like it's like the damn Mechanicum of Mars. How they want to like hold just like a tight rein on culture and technology.
Do you know that there was a time where people were much more creatively minded as well, and they thought much more for themselves and independently? And basically, what's happened is these days people almost just regurgitate what they've heard, either on social media platforms or things that their friends believe. But the actual act of thinking and independent thought has slowly been on the decline, in my opinion.
100%. Like nobody has. There's no original thoughts. Like people don't. They don't want to create their own thoughts or have their own. They don't. They because it's because the instant gratification that they get. Like they have so many options of so much different things to watch to do. That's not good for them. But they have all that, but they don't want to. They. You know, and they lost steam there for a second. Who's Phil Schneider? Who's Phil Schneider? That made me lose track what I was saying. So yeah, but we I mean most of the time this shit we get these streams they're these are we chill. We're chill. We're like we chill. Sometimes we can kick it philosophically. We're podheads. We're united all over the world. I got many buddies. We talk about all kinds of stuff. So and trolling, we don't care. I mean, don't care about the troll shit. Welcome in. Yeah, but being different, like I feel like the teachers, like they've been something about like something in the past 50 to 60 years. The teachers have been when they go to college or wherever, and they're being taught to teach, they're being taught low level hypnosis, and they're being taught to make sure the kids, like, if a kid talks too much, or if he's too active, or if he's like disruptive, as they say. I feel like the teachers are taught to nip that in the bud, because they, like you said, they don't want independent thought. They don't want creative creative shit. They want to be consumers, and that's a lot of people. They don't have that independent thought. Like, they don't. You can't like ask somebody a what if, because a lot they don't understand the concepts of what if. People, they don't even know shit about their own country. Most of the people, like, they don't know shit about, they can't tell you. It blows your mind.
That's a damn good comment there as well. That we're all supposed to fit in the box made for us by society. That's true. I think, yeah, like what also ends up happening, and I guess this happens with most people, right? Is your brain is like so used to just consistently being filled from like with dopamine that you just from the constant like doom scrolling and from shit like that, and it's just like the
Yes.
actual capability that people have to just be mindful at times, I think has kind of slipped away to some degree as well, bro. People don't like actually just ever take time off of thinking. And I know it sounds like an absurd concept to some, but actually just a form of meditation, if you will, of just being present rather than consistently thinking about the future or the past, because in the future lies worry and in the past lies regret. And if a person can focus in on the present, the task at hand, then yeah, they're much more capable of free thinking and thinking more creatively when they do actually think. Then they don't have to consistently be swarmed by all the bullshit that's out there.
Straight up. Straight up. Like, you do that. Like, I find myself, like, I think I'm addicted to doom scrolling. Like, as soon as I wake up, like, I don't even thank God. I don't do not. I just, like, go to the bathroom, get on my phone. Look at this. Look at this. So it's like, it's as somebody share Guardian's link, and it's yeah. I don't know. We just got It's got too much, and the way you figure it, like the garden, and like you're taking care of something. And not even just the garden. You got all your other stuff going on, but like that gives you something really to focus in on. That's you're literally touching grass.
There's also beneficial chemicals that are released within your brain when your hands are in soil. So like that whole thing about being earthed, and it's not just like a hippie kind of concept. It's actually legitimate. Like what a person's capable of doing is becoming like happier as well. If your hands are in soil and if you're actually getting into the garden and doing the shit. That's why I love Hutch's whole comment about go do something.
Mm.
Because that's what actually like keeps you present and keeps you like being able to like stay in focus is just doing shit. And I'm always doing stuff, man. Like I'm always turning, either repurposing something from one thing to another, or planting some new plants in, or like doing a paint job for like a person in the community. And that leads into like a whole different topic, bro. Community and actual like community awareness, giving a shit about, and I'm not saying like be vulnerable and trust everybody, but I'm definitely saying like try and be on good terms with people where you can. And it's, in the beginning of the conversation as well, we were speaking about having like smaller but more focused friendships that mean more than just having mass amounts of people. And it's the same thing where like you don't have to be friends with everybody to be nice to people and to actually like just greet people as well. And I think that that's unfortunately lost more and more in the modern world, where people are less inclined to take a moment out of their day just to try and help somebody. And it doesn't cost you shit, like just greeting somebody with a bit of a smile. And you know it's it's the whole thing. What's up? Good to see you, Mouth Freedom.
What, Mother Freedom? Yeah, because they're afraid. Like, because we've been. I feel like a lot of people have been conditioned to believe that they're going to get screwed over, or hurt, or betrayed somehow, or somebody's going to be, or something bad's going to happen interacting with somebody else. So it's like a lot of people have been lied to so much our whole lives. Like, we're scared to interact with people. America is Babylon, 100%. I do believe that for sure.
It's
Yeah,
getting better though, man.
greatest country there is.
So,
Though. Our country is great, but our government is definitely Babylonian, Luciferian.
yeah, I think that America also talks themselves into like this is a problem, right? You can talk if everybody believes the same thing about a country. They can talk a country down, and then like the general and popular narrative is that like the country is in this horrible place until they actually experience somewhere else, like across the pond, and they realize like just how grateful they should be to be in the greatest country on earth, and at a time where things are really changing around the whole world. Like, there's a reason why America's still, even though people won't like acknowledge it, why America's still doing so damn well in a lot of ways. And I think it's just, something that I've always stood by is the capability for a community and on an individual level as well for them to prosper because they try better for not just for themselves but for the country. And that also leads into the nationalism comment that somebody made in the chat earlier. Yeah, dude. Um, there's just you were speaking about the gardening thing, right? And the reason why, like, I find so much, I'm infatuated with it, bro. I don't just like it. Like, it's something where I'm genuinely just almost compelled on the daily to go and like do something in the garden, whether it's just move a plant around because it's not looking too happy, or plant a couple of seeds and actually like try and grow something new, or just like do additional research on like the plants that I do have. I love it, bro. Like it's really nice. Just being able to learn more about nature, and there's a certain by Sun Tzu, The Art of War, the book, where it mentions that it's better to be a warrior in the garden than it is to be a gardener in war. And it's because when you're in the garden and doing shit like that, you're consistently busy, dude. Like it's a damn good workout. And yeah, it's just one of those things where a person can really just learn a lot about themselves through caring for something that isn't giving much back to them fundamentally, other than being aesthetically pleasing. So when you care for something else as well, you get to kind of learn more about yourself. And it's the same thing for like relationships as well. Like if you have friends that are close to you, you can like bullshit and put the wool over somebody's eyes for like a couple of months up to a year, whatever. But eventually what happens is like that those masks start slipping. So having like friendships for a very long time gives you the capability to have them almost act as mirrors, because that's why I'm saying like you can bullshit people for a while, but then eventually you have to face up to things. And I think that that's why being in the relationship that I'm in now with my wife is like 14 years of just an incredible relationship, and she's my best friend as well. And that's kind of taught me to be responsible and to acknowledge who I am as a person as well, bro. And that's the good thing about relationships, right? It's a good thing about actually like, yeah, just being who you actually are instead of trying to consistently wear masks. Because I used to do that shit consistently when I was younger, man. I think everybody does, right, when they're trying to fit in and stuff.
Yes, I just recently kind of got out of that, like at work and stuff, where like, well, I feel like I don't know. I'm 31, but like I feel like whenever I was like 28, honestly, is whenever things started kind of hitting, zinging together and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when everything. And speaking of women, I got me a damn good woman too. I've been with her for like for two. We've been together only for 2 years, but like it's really taught me a lot. Like you said, being with a good foundation is a good woman. I feel like for sure. Um, yeah, and it's taught me so much. Like it's good to have like a good best friend that you can like just be yourself and like be as crazy and shit that you don't do in front of other people. You know what I'm saying? Kind of situation. Sorry, I was
Yeah,
going
dude.
through.
No, 2 years. 2 years is a long time, bro. 2 years is quite a long time in a relationship. Like it's nothing to be scoffed at by any means. It's something where if you feel the way that you do now and you have a relationship with somebody who's also your best friend that you can have respect for and they can have respect for you, I think that that's where, and nobody's like perfect either. People like mess up, as well. And like even in a long relationship like that, you make mistakes and shit, but like it's about becoming stronger as a couple as well. And actually like legitimately trying to improve who you are so that you can be a better person for that person that you care about.
Y'all grow together and stuff too. Like it's, like as there's some, we're all changing. We're changing we're evolving through our lives, and our partners evolving too. I feel like, and their own.
Yeah.
We all have our own different paths, but coinciding together.
And then you've got the opportunity as well to have somebody to have like deep conversations with about shit and actually have some self-realization through that too. So it's rather interesting, man. It's like there's so many like topics that we've covered through all the time because we've also been fortunate enough for the most part to work remotely. So we've actually spent an immense amount of time because of the remote work as well, just being in each other's company. And I'm grateful for that, man. I really am. It's quite interesting. Look at William Bag Dan trying to troll there. That's actually a good show that you mentioned there. I actually enjoy watching that show. I definitely wasn't on it, but it is rather entertaining of a show to watch. Specifically when you get to see people like William Bagdanoff on a couple of episodes. Repeat offender over there. And
yeah, he's like, you
yeah,
think
bro.
that William would have learned his lesson.
Right. It's funny, bro.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
Chris is funny. Is he's like, oh, I've watched an interview of them saying like, why do you talk to them like, well, hey, this doesn't, with his comments. And he's like, I just do it naturally. It just comes out.
Yeah, messing with you too, William. Don't worry, bro. I'm not somebody that gets offended easily, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there's so I have so much other issues, bro. That's the thing. Like your text and typing on a comment isn't really gonna, shake me to my core. And I get that you're joking completely. It's perfectly fine, dude. Like I'm not offended. That's another thing, right? When you get older, you also start, and what you were saying about at the age of like 28 to like 30, that things start to like make more sense. Man, like that's 100% so, dude. Like I actually can go like really off on the fact that growing up and getting through the years is actually something like a term of endearment, learning a lot more and, just kind of coming to grips with what you're interested in. And that's why I like the whole plant thing and like preparedness and shit as well is also something that I've always been interested in, like mountain biking, camping, like adventure motorcycling. Like I've only had a motor vehicle that's got 4 wheels for like 2 months of my life. Outside of that, I've only been on 2 wheels, and like there's many, many, many reasons for that. I absolutely love motorcycles, bro. Like I don't want to. I'm really going all over the place in this whole paragraph that I'm making now as well for you guys. But like nature and bikes and like that's the whole thing about getting through life, right? You just start to find things as well. Even like aquariums. I love like fish and like different types of species of fish as well. And it's something that it's maybe boring to some, and I get that. But for myself, it's also like another element of nature that I can bring into the house, and actually it increases like just the filter sound. It increases like the calmness of the home. And then you also implement that with like certain plants that actually work really well as air cleansers. And then obviously you can't always see the pollution, and the pollution's like, there within the air. But if you get the right type of system going within your home, you can actually have a much better state of living just through having fresher air to breathe and living in tandem with nature. Like you just start to appreciate those type of things,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, and with that appreciating nature, you don't like. I feel like you would lose that kind of negative drive. That like, there's this dude. That's funny you bring up this guy. This man, he's a troll, but this dude, man card, was like wanting to kick my ass the other day, just in chat, and I wasn't even in there. And I went through, and I said, "What the fuck?" He was like, "That pilgrim, stupid, a dumb fucking pussy, fucking." He was like talking about he's gonna kick my ass. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, dude. It's
Stranger again
words,
are not
right?
worth energy.
So the Josephus, I'd actually
Was he?
wouldn't mind. What's up, Pilgrim?
I didn't know. I was like, what the fuck? That shit had me too. I was like, why's he wanting to kick my ass for? What the fuck? Because someone else, there was another Because a couple of weeks before that, I'd gotten into it with somebody. I knew the person that I'd gotten into it with that before that was not him, though. So
Right.
they got my
It's
ass. I
fun,
was,
dude.
the fuck was that guy? Oh, God.
Dude, the Josephus is coming up with some really intriguing, comments here in chat for us. Like, have you been reading some of what he's been saying, dude? Like,
Yeah, no,
so I got that. What's
Sonofine.
that?
Yeah, that caught my. He said the. He said the Statue of Liberty is Luciferian. That's and that one I believe 100%.
Dude, like
Oh,
you're speaking
no.
about like holographic universes and stuff like that, right? Like if you're speaking about things that are along the dude. Okay, so if there's, I don't know if you've heard the whole thing where there's a 1,000,000 to 1 chance that we are not living in a simulation, right? So there's a million chances that we are and 1 chance that we're not, basically. Like it's very, very likely that this is some sort of a simulation, but that also pays onus to any of the religions as well, that also speak about that specifically, because the fact is that if it is a simulation, it could just be a test, and it's kind of one and the same. So it actually, like, I think that you can kind of project things as well for your life if you want to. If you go around and you believe that things are positive and that, we live in a good world while keeping your guard up, obviously. But if you go around in a world and try and, view life as positive in certain ways, I'm not saying view it with rose-tinted goggles either, like of the past or the present, really, but you can absolutely like project an incredible life for yourself and actually like strive for that shit too, because it's your day-to-day actions that make your life. And just a quick comment on that specifically, where like say for example Bob is a plumber, right? People know Bob as a plumber, and people, like, if they speak about Bob, they'll say, okay, Bob the plumber. You are your trade in a certain way as well, so it's just like mindful to try and be as accurate as you can in terms of chasing your pursuits as a person and growing as a person and individual, instead of blaming others for your downfalls or shortcomings.
I have a
Yeah.
friend.
Yep.
He blames everybody and everything and doesn't want to realize like that you just like, dude, it's like you got to think. Even my own dad is that way. It's like you got to think, like, even if all that, like, it's eventually you got to think it sums up to being your fault. But I agree with the Josephius as well, and I feel kind of like that's something I'm guilty of. Is I feel like I don't necessarily like I claim that, but I don't necessarily live my life the way I feel like somebody should if they want to. But it's very strict if you do want to live like I feel like a biblically accurate Christian's life. Like if you want, like I feel like it's very strict if you do want to like do something, like if you want to like be a part of that. I don't know. I don't. That's just like that's something I do. It's like a spiritual struggle. I feel like the albino guy off the Da Vinci Code. And that's blasphemous to say that too. But like I would be struggling with that. They'd like be like, ugh, because it's like I do, but it's like the idea of anything that's forever. That's a whole nother episode.
So the thing about religion, and I have very seldomly spoken about religion in general on any live platforms or anything, but I'll give you my thoughts quickly on something, which is that, and I might have mentioned it once on a live once or twice before, but I will say that it's very coincidental, and it's very peculiar for me how people that are of a specific religion are born in that said country. So that makes you wonder, like, how does that exactly work? Like, how does it work where if you're born in a Christian country and you're a Christian, you're confident that your religion is right, but somebody that is born in another country, just because they're born into a country that is of a different religion, would that mean that God would judge them because of the fact that they're born in a random country compared to like a country that does have Christianity as their primary like faith and belief system? Do those people get judged by God, and God says, that because you were born in this country, and then it's not just that, it's their upbringing and it's their surroundings. And when their upbringing, surroundings, and their families are of a specific faith, who are we to question them following that faith because they believe it's the right way and it's their path to their God. However, obviously, I'm not including fanatics in this because obviously there are fanatics of every different faith and group in the world. But I am saying that there does need to be a time where people just understand that it's perfectly good to have faith and good to have purpose, but it is bullshit for people to frown upon other people just based on the set of religious beliefs that they have, because you do get people from every single faith that practice their religion in a coherent way to the societies and to societal norms. I do think that there are definitely cultures that could do with a bit of a transformation because it's 2025, but I do also think that religion is something that people really should have as more of a personal guideline rather than something that they flaunt publicly. I don't think sexuality or religion or ethnicity should ever be something that you make as much of your identity as it is being made in this world. And that's something that I think is I think that there's so much more to that. I think that we unfortunately do kind of build our own kind of identity based on things that are more personal, and we go around in public and we kind of project that onto other people, and then we make assumptions of people before we actually give them a real chance as a human being. And I think that that's a fuck up, right? And it's like, how do we change that within society? And that whole way of changing it is by genuinely believing in what we believe enough that we don't feel the necessity to impose or inflict, if you will, our faith system onto other people. And I actually will say that my grandmother, when I grew up, was one of the most devout Christians ever, but she never spoke about her religion. It's how she acted and how she treated other people that was a testament to her own faith. That doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm of any specific denomination or any religion at all. I've never claimed any of that online, and I would never. But what I will, because of the exact sentiments that I've just mentioned. But it's like, how do you encourage other people to do so? And that's, I think, something difficult.
Yeah, because I feel like the way it is, it's not, you don't want to force it on, because I feel like a lot of people have an aversion to stuff like that, had it forced on them when they're younger, and like all kinds of you have to believe this, have to do this. But it's like Hutch had said a minute ago, if I wasn't born, and like you, it's like if I would I believe the same shit that I believe now if I was born someplace else? Probably not. But I gotta. It was a good time. I'm gonna have to get off of here in a second, I guess.
You're good, man.
That's great, we have a very deep convo, dude. What are you doing? What time? When I get off of work tonight, it's probably gonna be like later than hell over there.
Well, yeah. If I might be, as I said, like I am awake at sporadic times, and if I am on live and I see you up, I'll always be willing to come and have a conversation with you, bro. And I appreciate the comment section and from everybody's interactions as well. And everything that I've said on this live is definitely I stand by everything that I say, because I speak honesty and I speak 100% the truth that I believe. So it's good to catch up with you. I know you got to bounce, no problem at all, and we will catch up again, Pilgrim. Much respect, brother.
I learned a lot from our conversation today. Much respect to you too, dude. Peace out.